In this video, I'm going to show you everything that I carry in my reed tool bag. This is the tool bag that I carry everywhere with me, no matter what I'm doing, where I'm going. I always have this with me when I'm playing bassoon. It contains my reeds, it contains a lot of tools and kind of essentials that I need when I'm out playing bassoon. If this is the first time we're meeting, my name is Dr. Natalie Law, and I'm a professional bassoonist and teacher, and I love to help people learn to play the bassoon and feel confident playing this instrument. If that's a topic of interest to you, please subscribe down below and give me a thumbs up if the video is helpful for you. All right, so I'm just gonna go through my case here and show you everything. To begin with, this is a Wiseman reed tool bag. I have a Wiseman bassoon case, and this is the bag that came with it. Technically, it's able to attach to a Wiseman case, which is tubular. I don't really keep it attached to my case. I used to, but I don't really feel the need to anymore. I have a backpack that I take everywhere with me, so I always have this in my sort of extra bag in addition to my bassoon. So kind of the first obvious thing that I keep in here, I keep my reeds in my tool bag. I have a reed case here. This is a reeds and stuff case that is moisture controlled. It has a humidity gauge on it that's helpful to know that my reeds are being kept at a somewhat consistent moisture. Now, probably a main thing that most bassoonists will have in their tool bags is some sort of reed knife. I have a Landwell reed knife. I oscillate between different reed knives. This is a double hollow ground, right-handed, I believe medium strength reed knife. Probably my favorite knife ever. So if you're looking for a reed knife, I highly recommend Landwell as an option, but there's lots of other options as well. I'll see if I can find a link for it and put it down in the video description. Another thing that I have is a mandrel, just a holding mandrel. If I need to make adjustments to my reeds, if I need to tighten the wires or just something, it's always good to have a mandrel on there to be able to make adjustments. Another essential is pliers of some sort. These ones are fairly small handheld pliers. I recommend these be one of the first tools that you get if you start carrying around reed tools, because you can make wire adjustments. Mine particular pliers have a wire cutter in them, so they can help cut wire if you need to do that. And they're just all around good tools to have. Another tool that I have is a reamer. And this can be used to ream inside the tube of a bassoon reed. So if you've ever noticed that your reed doesn't quite fit firmly on the bocal, maybe it wobbles a little bit, it doesn't want to stay still, a lot of times that means that it needs to be reamed and it needs a reamer. I don't usually use this tool like when I'm out performing and whatnot. I just kind of have it with me. Sometimes I'll be working with students and realize that their reed needs like a little bit of adjustment. It's kind of the main reason I have it with me. But this is a Reamer. It's a really good reamer. I really like it. But again, there's other options. There's cheaper options out there as well. I'll link down this one and maybe another option down in the video description. Related to the standard reamer, I also have this diamond coated reamer, basically. So this is really similar to the other reamer, but this is more sort of like the fine reaming. It's not taking off like a lot of cane inside the reed. I usually use it to clean up after I do the regular reaming, and it kind of takes out any little remaining pieces of cane. Again, this is a Reamer version. There are other options out there. I would say this is kind of a nice to have tool. It's not an absolute necessity. It's nice to have when I'm reaming and I have a way to clean it up. So a third step with reaming is what might be called a rat tail file. So this is a round file, not instead of a flat one. I like to have this for cleaning up the insides of the tubes of reeds. Usually the reamer and then the diamond reamer do a pretty good job, but sometimes I feel like they don't go quite far enough up into the reed and kind of the part of the tube that's closer to the cane needs a little bit out of it as well. I'll run this through the center of the reed, and that also kind of fine tunes the reaming. So I guess I have 3 tools that I use primarily for reaming. Again, this is kind of a nice to have tool, not an absolute necessity. Related to the rat tail file, I have another type of file that I commonly use. This one happens to be kind of a triangle file. I don't know if it has a specific name. I'd recommend that at some point, if you're wanting to adjust or make reeds, that you get a set of diamond file needles. Usually they come in a set of 4 or 5, and they're different types, and this is just one of them. I like this one because it has a really small surface area, and I can kind of get into really small areas on the reed without taking off cane in areas I don't want to. I don't use files as much as I use a knife. Some bassoonists, when they make reeds, they use the files more than the knife. I sort of use this as a way to sort of clean up little spots on the reed when I feel like it's kind of the only tool that would do the job. Another tool that I have that's not really directly related to reed making is a screwdriver. And this particular screwdriver is one that fits the screws on my bassoon. So if I need to make adjustments on the fly, if a screw comes loose, this will fit a lot of other types of screws on bassoons too. So if I have a student that needs their screws tightened or something, it's nice to have a screwdriver. I actually have 2 different types of these screwdrivers, different sizes that fit the different screws on my bassoon. So I recommend, I think for anybody really, whether you're making reeds or not, to carry around a couple screwdrivers that fit your screws on your bassoon so that you can make adjustments, because you never want to get to a concert and like a key is starting to fall off because a screw has come loose or something. It's always good to have these around. I have a little 6-inch ruler. This one has both metric and imperial measurements. I use both in my reed making. I primarily use imperial. I have used metric measurements before, but right now I think the only metric measurement I use is when I'm measuring the length of the tip of my reed. And so it's nice to have both types of measurements, especially here in the US. Another really important part of my reed toolkit is sandpaper. This particular sandpaper is 220 grit. I tend to use that more, but you can also use like 400 or 440 grit sandpaper for making really fine adjustments on your reed. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that sandpaper is one of the first things I recommend you get. It's very cheap and easy to get from the hardware store, and you can make all sorts of little adjustments on your reed without totally tanking the reed. So I always have this sandpaper with me. Another important part of bassoon reed making, and something you should probably have in your case, is a plaque similar to this one. This is a black plastic plaque, and there's lots of different types of plaques out there. Some people use metal plaques and different shaped plaques. I just like the black plastic ones because I feel like I can see what I'm doing, and I feel like because it's plastic, it doesn't dull my knife as quickly. So that's why I use the plastic. Yeah, this is another really common thing I'm always using and needing when I'm out on the go. And last but not least, probably the most important thing, and the thing that you should start with having in your everyday carry reed tool case is pencil. Always good to have a pencil for rehearsals, marking your music and whatnot. So that was everything in my reed tool case. It's now empty. This is again what I carry with me everywhere, and it's obviously it doesn't include all of my reed tools that I need to make reeds, adjust reeds, but it includes the tools that I need to do the most common types of adjustments. What you can do if you want to start having a reed tool bag with you is obviously, purchase a reed tool bag. There's lots of different ones out there on different websites that you can order from. You can start just building out your tools that you need to do some basic adjustments, things like the pliers, the sandpaper, the screwdrivers, even like the ruler and the set of files. Those are pretty inexpensive things that you can get at hardware stores, and just having those items around is good. Sometimes, random uses come up and I can say, oh yeah, I have a pair of pliers to be able to do something with. So that's how I'd recommend building out your tool bag. Just gradually acquire these tools over time and carry them everywhere with you. If this video was helpful for you, please give me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.